Hello everybody. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about factoring. We've already done factoring, but this time we are going to do some more example problems before we do completing the square. So this is Ed Puzzle 35. Make sure that you've done the attendance form. Make sure that you have already, you're taking the notes and then you send them to me and remind for a grade, please. So to factor, we're going to talk about the quadratics and we're going to use the X method. And so the first thing you need to know is you need to identify the ABC. We've done that before, so hopefully this will be just a good review. A is the coefficient of x squared, the one that we circle, how many x squares there are, not just x's. B is the coefficient of x, the one with the x, only x, just a regular x, not x squared. And C is without x. So that's the first thing we're going to do, and then we're going to use the X method to do this. So you're going to draw a big X, and then what you're going to put here is the B and the C. The B and the C. So what you're doing is you're finding the numbers that go here. So the numbers that go there, when you multiply these numbers, the answer is C. When you add the numbers, the answer is B. You can't change the numbers, they have to be the exact same numbers. So please make sure you copy this. And so these are the factors. And so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to figure out what goes here. So what we do is we make a list of factors. That's the third step. Now, again, we're trying to do this without a calculator. That's the goal, because on the TSI you won't be able to use a calculator, and it's just good to know how to do this without a calculator. And also the PSAT has certain parts where you can't use a calculator. So let's make a list of factors. Now, again, the goal is no calculator, but if you absolutely get stuck, use the calculator. In graphs, you're going to type in C divided by X, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to make the list of factors, and then you add to see which one gives you the B. So let's do an example so everyone can be crystal clear. So let's say that this is what they gave you. Okay, 10x squared plus 10x plus 21. Circle, squiggly, underline. This has a squared. This one has the x. This one has no x. So for this one, my A, how many x squares I have? I just have one x squared because I only see one. If it were 2, you would see a 2 in front. For the B, that's the one that has the x with it. The one that has the x with it is this 10. That 10 is in front, so the B is 10. And then the C is the one that you underlined, no x, so C is 21. Okay, so then we're going to make our big X, and our B goes on top, so two numbers that add to give you 10, two numbers that multiply to give you 21. Okay, so I make a list of factors for 21. Now, again, the goal is to try to do this in your, like just mental math, or you could write it down on paper, but the goal is to do it without a calculator. Okay, so I can multiply 1 times 21. These are even, it has to be even, no like decimal, okay. 2, if I divide 21 by 2, I'm going to get 10.5, so no. 3, 21 divided by 3 is 7. 4, I get a decimal. 5, I get a decimal. 4 doesn't work. 5 doesn't work. 6 doesn't work. 7 is already on here, so that's how I know I'm done. When I repeat myself right there, I already know I'm done. Okay, so it can only be 21 and 21 or 3 and 7. Now, here's how you know which one is the answer. You're going to add them and your answer needs to be 10. The factors that give you 10, when you add them, those are the factors to this equation. One more time. These are the numbers that multiply to give you 21. That's why they're called the factors. Now we're going to add them. Did I use this marker? No, I did use purple. We're going to add them to see which one gives me 10. That's the correct, those are the factors. If I add them and it equals 10, those are the correct factors. So I'm going to add 1 plus 21, and that equals to 22, not 10. So that would not be my factor for this equation. I'm going to add 3 plus 7, and I get 10. So those would be my factors, the 3 and the 7. So because they're both positive, I'm going to write x plus 3 and x plus 7. Those are my two factors. Because when I multiply 3 times 7, I get 21. When I add 3 plus 7, I get 10. 10 is the B, C is the 21. If you do this part wrong or you don't do it, then it's going to mess up everything else after that. So let's do some more examples. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to do the same steps. I'm going to do A, B, C. I'm going to make my X. I'm going to make a list of factors. So circle, squiggly, underline. So my A, remember that this is really, really important because if you do this wrong, everything else after that is going to be wrong. My A is 1 because I only have one of them. And this X factor only works if you have an A equals 1. I'll show you what happens when your A is not equal to 1. B is the one with the squiggly. B is 12, and C is 36. So I'm going to do my big X. And the C goes down here. My C is 36. So I'm going to make a list of factors for 36. And I'm going to add them. And the answer is supposed to be 12. The factors that give you 12, that's your correct answer. So let's make a list for 36. So 1 times 36 is 36, bless you. 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, 6 times 6, 5 doesn't, 7, 8 don't work. Those are the only ones that work. Now, if that part is confusing how I'm getting the list of factors, I'm getting the list of factors from doing, because I know the multiplication chart. If you don't, then you're going to have to divide. 36 divided by 1, 36 divided by 2, 36 divided by 3, 36 divided by 4, 36 divided by 5, 36 divided by 6. That's what you're going to have to do if you don't know your multiplication chart. If still that's confusing and you can't do it on paper, I'm going to show you how you can do it on the calculator. You're going to type in the C, not the literal letter C, but the number that stands for C. So 36 for this problem divided by X. Now you're going to see this rational graph that looks like this. You're going to click on the settings, and we want to say a table of their factors. See how you have a list of factors on your calculator? 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, 5. See how you get a decimal, so that doesn't count. 6, there's 6. If you go to 7, you see a decimal. 8 doesn't work, and then 9 is already on the list. That's how I'm making the list of factors, but I know my multiplication chart, so I can just do that without using a calculator. If you need help and you don't know how to multiply in your head or on paper, then type in the C divided by X, not the literal number C, the number C, and you'll be able to make a list of factors. Okay, so now we have a list of factors. Now we're going to add this list of factors. What is my answer supposed to be? My answer is supposed to be this 12 because that's the B. So I'm going to add them. And the answer, the one that gives me 12, that's my answer. 1 plus 36 is 37. Nope. 2 plus 18, 20. 3 plus 12 is 15. 4 plus 9 is 13. 6 plus 6 is 12. So that means my factors are 6 and 6. Because 6 plus 6 is 12, and 6 times 6 is 36. So I'm going to write 6 plus 6 and x plus 6. If they were negative, I would change it to minus. All right, let's do one more, and then you will have some time to practice on your own. Let's do one when it's negative. So I do the same thing, A, B, C. Circle, squiggly, underline. Circle x squared, x, no x. So my A, I have one of them, so my A is 1. My B with the squiggly is negative 7. My C, no x, is negative 18. So now I make my big X. So what goes up here? The B, which is negative 7. What goes down here? The C, which is negative 18. So now I'm going to make my list of factors for negative 18. So for negative 18, I make this list. Now, if you're not so great at, if you don't have your multiplication chart memorized, then you're going to have to use a calculator. So I start with 1 is negative 18. 2 is going to be negative 9. 3 is going to be negative 6. 4 doesn't work. 5 doesn't work. 6 is already on here. So now what do I do next? I add them. Now, what is the answer supposed to be when I add them? The answer is supposed to be negative 7 because that's the B. So I'm going to add. If I add this is equals to negative 17. If I add this equals to negative 7. If I add this equals to negative 3. So because we are looking for the B, which is negative 7, that means that these are my factors, 2 and 9. 2 and negative 9. So I would write my factors like this. Because it's negative, I put the minus. So now I'm going to give you some time to practice on your own, and then you'll be able to hopefully see if you've got them correct. All right, so here's number 1. What I want you to tell me, when you make your X, what goes at the top? What should go at the top is the B. In this case, it's the one with X, so it should be 8. Now, I want you to tell me what would go at the bottom for C. That's the one without X. So it should be 16. Now, you're going to make a list of factors for 16. When you do that, you're going to make the list, and then you're going to add them and see which one gives you 8. You're going to add to get the 8. So what are your factors for number 1? Okay, let's look at number 2 now. On number 2, same thing. Let's make our X. What would go at the top for our X? Should be the 2 because that's the one with X. What goes at the bottom? The one without X, the C, which is negative 35. Now, you're going to make a list of factors for negative 35. Make the list, pause the video, and then you're going to add to see which one gives you a positive 2. So now, tell me the factors for number 2. Let's look at number 3. On number 3, you're going to do the same thing. We're going to make a big X. So at the top of the big X, what would you put? The B. It's a 6 because that's the one with X. What do you put at the bottom? The C, the one without X. Should be 8. Now you're going to make a list of factors for 8. So pause the video. Make a list of factors for 8. And then you're supposed to add them. And the answer is supposed to be 6 when you add. So now for number 3, tell me your factors. Number 4, draw your big X. What goes at the top of the X? The one with the x, which is -2. What goes at the bottom? The one without x, -15. So you're going to make a list of factors for -15. Pause the video. Now you're going to add them. And the one that gives you -2 is your correct answer. All right, let's try another one. Try number 5. Draw a big X. What goes at the top of the big X? The one with an X, which is 9. And then what goes at the bottom without C? Should be 20. Now you're going to make a list of your factors, which is C, 20. You're going to add them and see which one is 9. So pause the video, make your factors. Now for number 5, tell me which ones are your factors. What goes here and here? Number 6. Again, draw the big X. What goes at the top of the big X? The one with the X, the squiggly, -7. What goes at the bottom without X? -30. Pause the video, make a list of factors. Now add the numbers and the answer, that one that gives you -7, those are your factors. So tell me the answer for number 6. Number 7, draw your big X. What goes at the top of your big X? What goes at the bottom? Now make a list of factors for 12. All the numbers, when you multiply, give you 12. Now pause it and see which ones, when you add it, it equals to 7. Now, what's your answer for number 7? Number 8. You're going to make a list of factors. So you're going to make your X. What goes at the top? The 11, because it's your X. What goes at the bottom? 30, because it doesn't have C. Pause the video, make a list of factors for 30. When you multiply these numbers, the answer is 30. Okay, now you're going to add the numbers and see which one gives you 11. So pause it. And now tell me your answer. All right, good job, everybody. Hopefully you'll get those answers soon. Thank you.